Alrighty, guys, thank you for that carrier update. We'll talk to you more coming up in our second hour. Right now, we've got Grace Sharkey on, our retail writer, and of course, host of Point of Sale to talk all things retail. Grace, thanks for being here this morning. Great to have you.
Thank you, and happy belated 4th of July, America. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, America. Exactly. Hopefully you had a great long weekend. So in our last segment, Harris Lagon asked me what my favorite 4th of July barbecue food is, or 4th of July cookout food is. Now I'm going to pass that on to the rest of our guests. What's yours?
I'd say barbecue. I'd go probably, I had a really good smoked chicken during this break, so that was good. But yeah, brisket any day during summer holidays, winter for me.
I love that. Good to go with that one. All right, let's move into our topic today. Interesting news from a Bed Bath & Beyond sister brand, Bye Bye Baby, which I thought was doing pretty well when we looked at the retail space, has been potentially, tentatively snapped up in auction. What can you tell us about this story?
Yeah, this is a really interesting story because we've actually, last week's episode, we talked about Overstock.com putting in a bid for the full Bed Bath & Beyond brand. But they've actually looked at it as a couple of pieces, right? Splitting it up between Bed Bath & Beyond and also the Bye Bye Baby brand, thinking that they can hopefully auction off both for a lot more. Right now, it is going pretty well for them. And I think it's pretty interesting for, especially a brand as well known as Bye Bye Baby, a company called Dream on Me Industries, which sells a number of baby items, mostly of the larger goods like cribs, strollers, etc. Put in a bid for $15 million, $15.5 million, and as long as that holds throughout the process, again, they do want, I think, auction off that Bed Bath & Beyond IP as its parent company separate to see what that comes off of. But right now it's looking like Overstock might not be the full winner on this. So I think it's pretty interesting. You've got, right, this like small time baby goods contributor in this space who really just probably won the purchase of a lifetime for someone in the baby space. And this is going to include the properties for their registry, any Bed Bath & Beyond or Bye Bye Baby Beyond products as well. So I think the brand name alone will probably Dream on Industries do them very well. But everything else they're going to get in the package should be a pretty sweet deal.
I think it's interesting to see that this has been honestly pretty fruitful for Bed Bath & Beyond as a parent company, right? Splitting up these two brands has given them, in just these two auctioning offs, a almost valuation that's double what they had filed with the SEC previous, right? We saw that I think it was 21.6 million for Bed Bath & Beyond and now 15.5 for Bye Bye Baby. But the most recent filings with the SEC, Bed Bath & Beyond said its IP was only valued at around 13. How is this kind of shaking out? And could that be a point of contention that would maybe stop the sale?
So honestly, it's going to come out to how much someone ends up bidding for Bed Bath & Beyond by itself. I think seeing that there's only a $6 million difference in between the two, they should be able to find someone who will bid on it higher. Now, will Overstock come back in with maybe a higher bid after finding out what it was paid for split up? Possibly, because I know they could always sell it off to Dream on Me Industries as well. But I think for what Bed Bath & Beyond was in debt for, and how this could have ended. Yeah, it's going to work out all right for them. I mean, a positive business strategy probably worked a little bit better, but for how this ended, it's nice to know that the Bed Bath & Beyond name could still live on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think better than completely filing for bankruptcy and going that avenue. So, Grace, let's move on to our second story of the day. This one is really, really interesting to me. We're talking about DoorDash now offering options for folks who use EBT or SNAP benefits to get delivery on their platform. Talk to us a little bit about this.
Yeah, I have some extreme mixed feelings on this one. I will say, talk about a recessionary type of red flag. We already see the buy now, pay later companies just winning hand over fist right now. And I think the fact that DoorDash and Instacart have opened themselves up for SNAP programs shows you likely how much less consumer spending they're probably seeing from some individual economic groups, you could say. I will say, one thing that's kind of been nice is as someone like DoorDash and Instacart, I'd love to see the data behind these individuals, right? To be able to track all this and also see the spending behaviors of people on these different programs outside of the government is going to be some nice information to learn from. I also think that this is probably likely the states, et cetera, a good opportunity to make sure that these benefits are going to the right places and are going towards the right purchases. Someone who's been raised around the program, I will say there's some different ways to make an income off of these benefits. So it's good to see that there's this like paved avenue for it now. What it does make me nervous of is from some of my past work in initiatives like food deserts. This really leaves very little need for investors to invest more into food desert areas and better groceries, right? If they can just DoorDash the groceries, why would I put up a new store for these individuals? So I think that's where it's kind of concerning. I hope that doesn't slow down the path of getting good food choices in front of individuals who need it. But again, I think when we look at just tell signs of where the consumer is right now, the fact that we see DoorDash and Instacart, and wouldn't be surprised if Uber follow suit on it, taking advantage of one more area of financing they can get their hands on at this point.
Obviously, this has the potential to have some unintended consequences, like you mentioned, with the food deserts and seeing that maybe lead to a lack of investment. One of those other, I think, unintended consequences is the fact that this might also impact the workers, the gig workers who use the platform, who rely for a lot of their income on tips, right? If you have an individual who is using
Sure.
SNAP benefits or EBT to pay for their groceries through that, it's likely that they won't have either the ability, the allotment to use those SNAP benefits to tip decently well, or to have those extra funds to add a tip on at the end, right? And could that possibly have some trickle-down effects to the drivers, leading drivers to say, hey, you know what? You might have the ability to use SNAP on the app, but we're not going to accept your order because we know that we won't get a tip out of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a really great argument to make. I mean, you're right. This likely won't go towards these extra charges, and might actually start the people that are on SNAP. We might see them spending more of their income on food in these areas to kind of make up for that difference, right? It's kind of, that's the ploy that a lot of these apps have. Sure, you get some great benefits. You can use your SNAP, but if you see that non-related food items sitting there, you might purchase that as well. So I agree with you. I think over time you might see individuals looking at tipping a little bit differently. I will say that in this release, they also released an ability for you to tip your driver more once the transaction's done. Go figure. That's the tipping world that we live in. So that might fight against it, but I would not be surprised if you see on these purchases in particular, yes, a lighter tipping as well, seeing that they likely are using their card and maybe paying $1 or so more at least to get that delivery.
It's going to be interesting to watch for sure, Grace. Thank you for joining us this morning. Would you like to give me a tip?
You know what? Yes, I will.
25%.
10%. No, whoa,
oh. All right, Grace, thanks for joining us this morning. You can catch Point of Sale up on FreightWaves TV on Wednesday afternoons right here, and head on over to freightwaves.com and subscribe to the Point of Sale newsletter as well. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, so don't go away.